there's lots of studies showing that people are not as big of jerks as economists give them discredit for. And you probably all know the prisoner's dilemma game, and you know that the Nash equilibrium in that game is for both people to defect. If you run an experiment, about 40 to 50% of people cooperate. Now, there have been thousands of these experiments run. First with 0 stakes, then with low stakes, then with slightly bigger stakes. So some colleagues of mine and I had a chance to study this at really big stakes. And we did it by using a game show. And it has the tantalizing title, Golden Balls. I didn't come up with that title. So this was a Brit game show that started out with 4 people but narrowed down to 2. And at the end, they play a prisoner's dilemma, technically a weak prisoner's dilemma, which worked as follows. They had made some money, and they could split or steal. If they both split, they each got half. If one steals, the other splits. The stealer gets everything. If they both steal, they both get nothing. Okay? So what happens, if we had run this experiment, it would have cost us 2.6 billion pounds, which is like $1 trillion. So, well, not anymore, but in the individual shows, the stakes ranged from a low of 100 pounds to a high of 100,000 pounds. There are a few of these you can find on YouTube. The 100,000 plus one is very much worth watching, and there's another one you can find where a guy uses a very interesting strategy that I won't spoil, but you can kill some time on that tonight. So here's the question. As we raise the stakes to really big, what happens to cooperation rates? Do they fall to 0? As economists have been arguing without any data for 50 years. And the answer is sort of. So here's the data. And here's what I mean by sort of. The cooperation rates do fall, but they fall to the same level that we see in lab experiments for $1, 40 to 50%, right? You can see this is like 1,000 pounds and up. We're getting 40 to 50% cooperation rates. The curve only goes down because they cooperate even more when we're playing for low stakes, meaning 100 pounds or 250 pounds. I call this the big peanuts phenomena, meaning that if you're on this show and you think, I think the average was about 10,000 pounds. So you go in there thinking you're going to be playing for a big pot, and you only are playing for 200 pounds. Say, that's peanuts. Now, of course, if we were running lab experiments with 200-pound stakes, we would not think that's peanuts. But in this context, it's peanuts. And people say, well, why be a jerk on national television for 100 pounds? But otherwise, there's just no evidence that raising the stakes changes it.